how you started your AR journey, and then I will jump into about your book. I want to dive into that.
I started working in the past century, so in 1998. So I was privileged to see the internet grow from a place where it was mainly a network of universities and scientists, of people that knew how things, how to connect, first of all, then where to go to connect. And I saw it grow into what it is right now. So a commodity, something that is a continuous part of our lives, and that will evolve even more. So at that time, it was interesting. The same way as today it is with the metaverse, it was interesting to see how other people reacted to the internet. So you have several videos on the internet right now on social media where you have people from that time saying, "Oh, but what is the internet, and how? What the ad? What is the ad? Is it www or is it the ad?" So at the end, people, that happens mainly because we are all programmed to feel safe, and we're all programmed to feel comfortable. Yeah. That's okay. It's not an issue. But when things that we don't understand come into our space and kind of invade us, we kind of take a step back. That's pretty much what's also happening with the metaverse, with the companies also. So at that time, then I started working in a training company. I was fortunate enough actually to work with minds that were thinking about e-commerce, were thinking about e-business in the 1999s. So, prior to the dot-com bubble, prior to the dot-com bubble burst.
Yeah.
And around 2000, I started working in an e-commerce company that was also part of that big bubble that was being inflated, and that burst with in 2001. It's September 11th, and that made me rethink what I really wanted for myself. At that time, I started doing some training, and alongside with it, I started nurturing this idea of creating a company.
Okay.
And meanwhile, before creating, in fact, the company itself, so I had the opportunity also to work for a consultancy, KPMG, and then afterwards I came back and I said, well, let's then do this. And in parallel to the training, I would be, or I started developing something very similar to what freelancer.com or elance.com is. So like a marketplace for freelancers. So not that far from a business that you might know 20 years ago. So that was, it was really fun. We got 12,000 people at that time. It was really, really cool. So business lasted till 2007. So there were no startups, or at least we didn't call them startups at that time. So it was a company. And then I had an exit. We didn't call them exits. But yeah. So
how did you jump in augmented reality?
That comes afterwards. I'll get there. But one thing I wanted to share was that, and this is the one thing that I really wanted to share with anyone that is listening, that afterwards I had two more iterations. So I tried to create two more companies, and they crashed and burned because, of course, I thought I was a genius. So I jumped into stuff. And again, things happen. Mind you, the ideas were good, but at the end, we have to be very flexible. We have to be able not just to pivot, but we also need to be able to adapt in a way that we can just say, okay, so this is not where I want to go. So the way this is pivoting is not the something that is really interesting to me. I'm going elsewhere, and that's fine. That's not an issue. In my mind, that was failure. So I kind of took it to the to the very end, and then of course these two. But again, learning
Because education.
Yes, yes. Painful and costly education, but still education, yes. Then around 2000 and I think it was 2004, no, 2000, yeah, 2013, 2014. At that time, I was also here in Lisbon. We were suffering the backlash of the crisis, so the global crisis with subprime and all, which had started like previously, but then hit Europe like 1 year after, and yeah, we all remember it. So I thought, well, this is not going so well, and at that point, I had an opportunity to join a company or an augmented reality development studio called Next Reality that was doing a lot of interesting things. They were like in 2014, they were launching they wanted to launch products in augmented reality, mind you. So with that kind of technology, with that kind of with that state of the art. So we're talking about marker-based only experiences. We're talking about things that only ran in specific devices. So again,
Quite early.
Yes, very, very early. So I joined in. It was again hell of a ride. So between like 2014 and 2016, we launched. We actually launched 4 products, but 2 of them didn't pick up. So we kept 2 others. And yeah, it was again a really interesting learning experience with a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
It was for me very important to explore like how the market reacted to the value proposition that the technology brought in when in connection with the several business models, with even the supply chains that are attached to the business models, and how all these stakeholders were looking into the technology, and how they kept on looking. So how this connection of these technologies with the technology evolved. So all in all, it was really, really interesting. But I soon came to realize that this was not just a technology that was going to change the way we communicate. This was not about UI. This was not about UX. This is actually changing this. The best way I can describe it, I think, is we're talking about something that changes our perception of reality. So as it changes our perception of reality, it changes how we remember and how we convey our memory of reality. So through that, if I remember it in a way, and if I convey it in a way, then of course it becomes my reality, part of my reality, although being digital, right? So it's physical and digital. Now, we're not used to this. This is so fundamentally transforming that we are, and we are not like being taught about it. We are not being educated about it, and we need to, and we really need to. So I started like looking for people that had this kind of, troubled minds, and I found them in several communities. So I started cooperating with the VR/AR Association between 2017 2021. I co-presided to the Portugal chapter, and I'm still advising. Great bunch. Besides that, I also started cooperating with XR Safety Initiative, with whom I am still working with, and besides that, also with several places and in several groups, like the one
you're everywhere.
of course. Well, try to connect with, again, like-minded minds that have this kind of, and that's the push. So yeah, I would say, in a nutshell, that's it. Just to update you then on my last position. So I then came from Next Reality to IT People Group. So Next Reality was part of a bigger group. I started heading the marketing at IT People Group at a given point in time. I had the opportunity to come to KitAR. It's a startup. It's, the ropes. It's crazy. It's redefining everything like every week. But at the same time, it's very, very, very rewarding to see how stuff happens, and especially how we are clearly bringing a different kind of value to the market. So right now I am the CMO at KitAR, which is an Industry 5.0 augmented reality or industrial augmented reality startup.
But you had really good experience in augmented reality marketing itself, because you're a thought leader. You do have amazing blog posts, amazing content, and I know that you are already finished working on your book, your co-author, right, on Metaverse and what is beyond that. But to jump back on augmented reality marketing, how would you explain to those people who are not approaching augmented reality marketing yet? What would you say to them? Like, how are you explaining the relevance of AR marketing today?
That's a good point, because most of the times people tend to replicate what they see, which is, again, fine. People like see stuff. Exactly, that's the issue, because it's fine because you experiment, but then you only like leverage this kind of this part of the potential. You have so much more. And to really leverage that, I think that marketers, first of all, need to understand a bit more about the range of the experience we're talking, and to understand it, I think that we need to go really down there to the basics. And to the basics, what we're talking about is we are changing. Again, getting back to the previous expression, we are changing our perceiving reality, getting or applying it to a marketer's job. We can change how people observe, and how people use objects and spaces through digital layers.
Yeah.
So, you can have a physically empty space that can be filled with wonderful tours throughout Egypt, or with whatever, right? At the same time, it could have if you're into mechanics, it could show you how to bring together that Subaru 1978 engine that you're looking to gather. Now, the topic at the end of the day, I think relates a lot with marketers becoming more and more confident about their ability to envision these experiences, and then afterwards to bring these experiences to again, technical teams that will most probably then afterwards tell them, okay, so this is quick, this is not quick, this is definitely not quick, and this is not possible. But again, and also another second thing that I think it's really important for marketers to know, getting a bit back to the examples. Still, I think that some marketers have not so many examples. They kind of get their trend spotting from social media and from their friends, entourage, teams. But at the end, when they have when they're in front of a new customer, maybe they should do their own research, not just base their opinion on what they already know. And that, again, today we already have like AI tools that facilitate that. So my recommendation would be to leverage those. And again, at the end of the day, we're talking about education.
I want you to explain like the relation of metaverse and augmented reality. What is it related? Because people are asking us a lot. They don't know that augmented reality can be related to the metaverse.
First of all, the metaverse, we have to separate what I'm about to say from all the hype. And mind you, right now you have a lot of hype around everything that is kind of new and has like an immediate impact on people. Like, for instance, why did the metaverse suddenly became a thing? Well, because you had like this one of the top 10 companies in the world saying that they were going to allocate a huge amount of resources to develop their vision of the metaverse. And that then suddenly that triggered a cascade effect that brought a huge amount of other people from the market to jump onto this bandwagon and try in their own way to leverage the word metaverse. The issue is that as it was as there were so many different definitions, so many points of view, starting with the one from Meta, from Mark Zuckerberg, which is again very, very specific. The issue is that, again, people start to hear this and that and that and that and so many things around them that are so different that they kind of take a step back. This is like this. They fear it. This is not for me right now. And then you start like hearing one guy saying, yeah, but the metaverse, well, it's all about Web3 platforms. It's the way to go. And then you start hearing, okay, Web3, okay, blockchain. Oh, but now NFTs are dropping. Oh, but now cryptos. Oh, then the metaverse is dying. You go. Then you go to, okay, so, but then you have all the other people saying, no, it's all about VR. All the people that also connect with the Meta's vision. It's all about VR, or again, Niantic saying it's all about AR. Again, on my side, what I can say is that the metaverse at this time is a vision of what the next stage of the internet will be. What we know right now are several characteristics that this next stage of the internet will have, and what we're enjoying right now are several of the cornerstones that will support the development of this new stage. But at this point, we're not in the metaverse. To be in the metaverse,
it's not a space.
Wait, it's the internet, but just 3.0 or how the web 3.0. Not exactly, but yeah. So it's spatialized. So we will have the ability to create spaces and to put digital objects, digital beings, and digitals, even entrances to digital spaces in our physical space, and to connect all of this. And then we will have the opportunity to have, of course, AI, like calculating and analyzing all our interactions, for better or worse. We can talk about that. And besides that, we will have also all the IoT sending data up, back and forth, up and down, about our health through smartwatches, about our eye tracking through headsets. So the amount of data that is going to be available is going to be huge. And the purpose of this vision of the metaverse is to leverage this amount of data in real time. So talking about spatialized, we're talking about real time. Also the ability to create, some people say world, I say like infinite worlds, not just in virtual reality, but also in augmented reality through augmented reality lenses, for instance, where we have the possibility to reinvent the world over and over and over again. And that we can do, again, with augmented reality and also through virtual reality with portals that will allow us to enter like stores that are purely virtual. But this will only happen also if all of this experience is persistent. What does this mean? This means that we will have like everything that we own but is like stuck in this screen will be available elsewhere. We will be able to interact with it the same way that we interact with this. So I'll be able to touch it. I will be able to grab it. I will be able to pass it on, to pull it. And yeah, so this 3D spatialized, persistent, multiplayer, real-time web is then this vision of the metaverse that is based on several technologies, being one of them augmented reality. Clearly, Niantic is very bullish on that.
It's really interesting that you said like previously that you have seen this 90s stuff, and like how fast are we going on that direction to be in real metaverse? And when will we have, for example, the smart glasses at the end of the day? Like we're every year waiting for that, and these big companies are postponing.
Yeah. I'll slash the question in two, like, so how fast are we going? And then the smart glasses. So regarding the speed, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like the last August, several courses, design courses started with syllabus. Pretty much everything that needed to be in there. They were prepared to train great professionals for the digital market. Today, those courses are all obsolete with AI. And this happened like in 6 months.
AI, yes. Like, what about AR, VR itself?
AR and VR already existed and they were already doing approaches. Now the speed, the issue of AI, and I'm referring specifically AI because, for instance, the impact that it has with augmented reality and the marketing side. So right now, designers that create augmented reality experiences will have the opportunity to leverage AI to create or to get like digital elements that they can afterwards refine and include in a much faster way inside their own experiences. Yeah. That is great. They will have to do it on their own. No one's teaching them. And suddenly schools, universities, which are really big institutions, they will need, or they will have to like find ways to adapt. They're not used to it. Now, even worse, now, we as users, we're also not used to it. Mind you, no one, because university schools, they are still adapting, so no one's educating us.
No.
Right? So last time that this happened, we got ourselves fake news, we got ourselves deep fakes, we got ourselves a ton of stuff, right? And again, because we started tinkering by ourselves, and things kind of, well, went the way they went. So no one was actually thinking about them. So that's why it's so important for us to start thinking about where to go in the metaverse. And for that purpose, I do believe that marketing professionals have a clear say on this, because again, at the end of the day, and due to the status of the market right now, I do believe that most of the people's first experience with augmented reality will most probably be provided by or facilitated by a marketing professional. It will come from the mind of a campaign director, someone that is publishing the support. So this to say that the speed is ludicrous, and it's going to increase. It's crazy. Like when people start to see flying cars, and we'll start to see like stuff that we're used to see only in the movies. That's, I think, where the reality check will kick in, and we will have like a bigger impact. So yeah, that's on the speed. Glasses. Again, we're always looking for that huge promise that every year keeps on being made by pundits in throughout the market, that today this is the year of the Apple glasses. I don't know. What I do believe, if you remember the first version of the iPhone was so basic that it didn't have like copy paste. It did not have copy paste, right? So I think we need to like tone down a bit, because again, at the end of the day, these are going to be great tools. They are going to allow us to do a ton of stuff. And hopefully, again, Niantic, I think Qualcomm also, they already have their vision of how the world can be filled with or painted with digital colors. I'm quoting Charlie Fink. And at the same time, I think it's only going to be a tool. So at the end of the day, and this is the reason why I think there aren't so many new devices, there aren't so many things. At the end of the day, what we need is more content. We need much more content. We need people to like create new ways to convey the content. And mind you, if it's not today, if they think, oh, but we still don't have an audience, don't mind that. Test it, because if you test it, if you go further in with your tinkering, you will be so many steps ahead of the other people that are going to come and will try to do that in like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And mind you, and I do believe that right now there is an audience for that.
Audience is there for that, but at the end of the day, like 7 out of 10 marketing professionals don't know how to use AR. And like you said from the beginning of our talk, like people are scared of the things they don't know. But like I'm always asking thought leaders in AR, like what I asked you already, like how to explain and how to educate them that it's worth to put budget in augmented reality, because at the end of the day, they are always asking about the prices. And I understand whenever they are just testing out, they don't know. It's not easy to put not so low amount of money in, for example, social media AR campaigns from the beginning. And they are comparing to like static banners, and like they are sticking to the old version and classic advertising strategies. I'm not talking about everyone, but like basic like SMBs mainly are concentrated on classic advertising strategies. So what would you say to them besides that they are missing out?
Well, they are, yeah. It's not just the fact that, of course, they will need to start dealing with this, because this is clearly a space where that will transform into several channels of communication that they will need to integrate into their own strategy. So I don't need to say that, because that's out there, and we already discussed that. I think that on the here and now, clearly it has to do with the use cases that's of the experience itself, and then afterwards the stickiness of those experiences, because that's going to influence the lifetime value of the business proposal, or the sorry, not the business proposal, but the marketing campaign that is going to be developed. And finally, I'd say that you will have to be very, very adamant in establishing your objectives. So, and I think the problem most of the time starts there, because as augmented reality is technology, so you either go for augmented reality is technology, and look at this. This is wonderful. This does this and this and this, and it's a trick. It's a parlor trick. It's not it does not have a purpose, and it just like encumbers the communication with the consumer with the cover that it's more fun, or it's not okay. So it is more fun, but it's not fun like to install all the app and putting in everything on the forum. So just see an experience, right? So what I really want to do is something that is like, wow, impactful. But for that impactful to be in there, it needs to be aligned with the rest of the communication. So again, I do believe that it has to do with, it's important to establish like clear, very, very clear objectives, like one objective. Like, okay, so what do we want? Like, for instance, I remember, let me give you two examples that I really appreciate. So the first one is, I think it was Burger King that did this. It's pretty famous, this campaign, Burn That Burger.
My favorite campaign.
So yeah, it's very straightforward. Of course, it's comparative advertising, so it doesn't work everywhere, but still, it's very impactful and drives people to the point of sale. So again,
people don't know about this campaign. Maybe you will explain.
Okay. So it's very straightforward. So you install an app, you do a very quick registration, and then you are able through your app to point. So this is a Burger King app. It's worth mentioning, and then you can point your app. So it has an augmented reality experiences that opens your camera, and then you can point it to a McDonald's ad. And it will burn the McDonald's ad into this wonderful voucher that then you can redeem at Burger King.
And this is creativity. And this is all about creativity. We always say at CrossCreators that augmented reality is not a silver bullet unless you are good at marketing.
It's just a tool. It's just a technology. That's, at the end of the day, that's exactly it. At the end of the day, all that matters is this. The rest is technology. And this is really important because most of the times we kind of think, oh, but technology is going to solve us. Oh, now it's data marketing. Oh, now it's we're going to find with analytics, with all the direct marketing possibilities that we have with marketing automation. All of those are tools. So if it's not done in a way that makes sense for continuously with the other on the other side, we're not providing value. So clearly that's one. The second one that I also wanted to share, I couldn't find it again, so I think that it was taken out, but it was really, really fun. It was this filter, augmented reality filter, that allowed me to be part of a play. So I would like, my text would appear.
Okay.
And I would say with my Shakespearean hat and with my moustache and blah, and I would say it, and then when I ended it, out came the other actor that is in scene with me, and he would say the next line, and then it could come back to me again, and I would say mine.
Correct. Yeah,
exactly, and just by putting ourselves in this very fun and quick way, putting us into the shoes of an actor, I think they conveyed a lot of the fun that was inside that play. So again, it's something that right now I'm talking about, and because at the end that this is what we're going for, right? Yeah. And that's what we're going for as marketers. We want to be here inside the customer and the consumer's head, so we can be a part of their lives and hopefully also convey value.
Well said. Thank you so much, Luis.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.